All right. It's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. We're back with the Conscious Finance Podcast with my amazing co-host, Gven Sariol. What's up, Gven?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
All right, man. Good to be back. Good to be refreshed. Feel great today. Been a good day. It's been a good week so far. So looking forward to everything we have coming on throughout next week and the week after.
Yeah, you guys got a big event in the Try Carson, right? It's Carson, the four Carson.
The Carson Center on Carson Street, Carson, California, hosted by Billy Carson, the 4 C's.
Oh,
Instead of the 4 horsemen, it's the 4 C's.
The 4 C's. I love it, man.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah. Gonna be a great event.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that event, man. You guys have had to expand that event, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Had to expand it.
You sold so many tickets, man. I was blown away when I heard that.
Yeah. So, hey, man, it's a beautiful place to do it. We had the place that we're doing at is very expansive, and it can hold a lot of people. It can hold even more than that. So we're in the right place. We're going to use that event center a lot because it's just very convenient. It's very nice. It's in a great location. And it's affordable, so it allows for us to really be, flexible with what we do there. And of course, when they heard my name was Carson, they said, "You're coming home."
Nice, man. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, today we're talking about the dollar and its collapse. We've been talking about this a lot. Last week we talked about gold's rise. Like gold has been going parabolic. But now we've got, everything kind of plunging this week. But the dollar, when we're looking at these sorts of things, we're looking at expansive time horizons, right? We're not talking from 1 week to the next. We have some countries like, let's say Argentina or Lebanon or Turkey, where they experience like hyperinflation, but the dollar is the standard that we use right now. And we've all seen that chart where the dollar shows how much it's declined over time, and this is the chart that I often bring up for people to see. And a lot of people don't realize what inflation is and what, if the dollar is even on a gold standard, right? And I've been going really deep. I've been studying this stuff now for like 8 or 9 years since I started, my business. And I'm telling you, like, we're really starting to see this collapse that I've been talking about since that time, since I've learned what cryptocurrency was and the scarcity of it and the scarce assets like gold and all that stuff. And it just seems like the dollar is just headed towards an inevitable collapse of some sort, unless they do something, which I think it's kind of like the cat's out of the bag unless they truly back it by Bitcoin. I don't think anybody's going to believe them if they say they're going to back it by gold, because they did that before, and it ended up collapsing basically the dollar even further. Like in the 70s, you can see like right here, it just accelerated the downturn, right? And this chart only goes up to 2020, but it went even lower because they printed like 40% of the entire supply of dollars during that time. And I did a Conscious Finance a few weeks ago where I showed the multiple different collapses, like from Rome to France to the Caribbean islands, and this is what happens. All right, this is what happens when you experience a collapse. They just keep debasing and debasing and debasing the currency until it's everybody's just gaslit.
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's happening. That's what's going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts, Billy? Like, do you even think that they have gold in Fort Knox?
I don't think there's any gold in Fort Knox. I think the gold has been gone. I mean, Elon found that out when he went there. He kind of kept it a secret. Obviously, he didn't come back out and say, "Man, guys, the gold is really there." He just kind of, it was a big cover up. There's no gold in Fort Knox. Any and all gold that we do have is actually located in some of these deep underground military bases, in some of these bunkers, these shelters. When I built the Fort Terra Nova underground shelter system, I discovered through the company I partner with, Radius Engineering, who had a contract with Oliver North from the military to build their shelters, that there's 1,200 underground bases in America, and they are all interconnected with a high-speed underground tunnel system. So that underground tube system, super tube system that Elon Musk was talking about building, that already exists. The military had it for a very, very long time. And so the gold is a technological element. Gold is not for adornment and for wearing like jewelry. We think it's like wearing for jewelry because we've been kind of beguiled into that. But gold is really for technology. Our cell phones, this camera I'm talking to you right now, the screen I'm looking at to see you, none of this would exist without gold. Space travel, satellite systems, you can't do anything without gold. Gold is a very, very incredible element in that when you put energy in on one side, you get 100% out on the other side. You don't lose anything in friction. If it was a copper wire, even with insulation, I would still lose some of the energy on the other side. It's phenomenal because it can be manipulated into very, very small strands. Some is as smaller than the width of a human hair. Some the size almost of an atom. And they can make these incredible microchips. Oh yeah, gold is phenomenal. There's so many things you can do with it. Of course, radiation shielding. I mean, I can just keep going on and on. So the military weaponizes gold because they utilize it in weaponized system, in aerospace systems, in astrophysics systems. You have to have it. Without it, a lot of the technology we have today wouldn't exist. So they hoard the gold for technological purposes because they actually need it for that. And they could be building a damn fleet of ships. I mean, if you remember that movie, I think it was 2012, where they had those boat ships that go out on the ocean for all the rich people only. Well, what if they have a fleet of spaceships for those same elites in this real world? They would need a lot of gold to build those. So I don't know, man. I just think that they're covering that up, and that they're using that whole "we buy gold." You remember that whole thing? We buy gold. We buy gold. It was everywhere.
Yeah,
that was actually a government project. That gold wasn't for pawn shops to get it. It was a buyback of gold on a mass scale across the United States, and 90% of that gold ended up back in the hands of the government.
Yeah.
And they actually have an executive order that was signed quite some time ago that if you get caught hoarding gold during time of martial law, you can actually be put in prison. All your gold must be given to the government.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know if you've been, I'm sure you have been keeping up with this, but the three eye atlas, so it's now like coming around to where they can like see it from some of these telescopes or whatever. And they're saying that it's brighter now than it was when it initially entered like the orbit of the sun. So maybe that's gold, right? It's like heated up, and it's like, I don't know. Who knows?
It's a nickel metal. It's actually a certain type of metal, but only type of metal that we can make on Earth during machining. So it's not a naturally occurring type of metal. So it's machined, and that's telling us that this thing is artificial by nature. It exhibits thrust out of the rear, but not just any kind of thrust, vectoring thrust. So it's controlling its angular momentum. So it's actually controlling its trajectory and changing its trajectory through our solar system in order to navigate and go on a sightseeing mission around all the planets and moons. This thing is intelligently designed and intelligently controlled. And then as it approached the sun, a thrust of jet came out of the front. That's for braking, to slow it down because it's moving too fast. Or you skip out of the atmosphere. You skip off of the Lagrange point 1, and you'll skip off into deep space. So it has the ability to speed up and slow down. So we're talking about something that's intelligently designed, intelligently made, that has the power to thrust itself and also control its vector as well as slow down. We're talking about something that came from an area in space where they discovered the wow signal back in 1977. That was the same year that I came to Florida and saw the UFO flying across my backyard. That was my biggest story of all time. 1977, though, which I found out obviously as a grown man, there was a wow signal that came from a star 1,800 light years away. And this astronomer wrote wow on the coordinates. When he printed it out of the dot matrix printer, it made it into well-known mainstream history. You can Google the wow signal and you'll see it. And when astrophysicist Avi Loeb and his team backtracked the location where this origins of this object came from, it came from that same star where the wow signal oriented came from. So we're talking about something that possibly has the capability of flying faster than the speed of light, because at the speed of light, it would take 1,800 years to get here from 1977. It obviously hasn't been 1,800 years. So this thing must have in some way used FTL drive to accelerate, and then it popped out of FTL somewhere close to our solar system to slow itself down and go on its sightseeing. It's on a vacation. It's just taking a ride around our area.
Oh wow, yeah, because I see like now it's headed out towards Jupiter and its moons, and allegedly there's like H2O out there and on what's that, the moon out there in Jupiter called man, I forget.
There's so many moons out there by Jupiter. So I saw there's the one with the water.
One that they're saying is like could be habitable, right?
Oh well, you have Titan, number one.
Titan.
You have Titan. Yeah, Titan. The Huygens probe went out to Titan. I forget what year it was, in the 90s. So Huygens huygens landed on Titan, and Huygens detected it landed in a puddle. It landed on the edge of a lake. But Titan, there's some anomalies on Titan. I got some anomalies from the imagery from the Titan mission by Huygens, and then there's just so many other incredible moons out there. To me, are potentially habitable. Take a look at this. Oh wow! This is some imagery from some of the non-mainstream astronomers. Everyone's got their satellites and their telescopes pointed out into this thing. This is from the front. It looks like a Death Star.
What is it? This is Titan?
No, that's 3i Atlas.
3i Atlas?
Yeah. Look at this. What is this on the surface? What is that?
Whoa.
This is why NASA stopped transmitting. They said, oh, we can't send any more images because the government is shut down.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they're doing their best to wipe all the sources and all these amateur astronomers and all the people with private satellite data off the internet. They're doing their damnedest to wipe it all off and take it all down.
Whoa.
This would destroy religion, politricks, finance, economics. Everything would be destroyed in one fell swoop with this spaceship to come by here. It's larger than Manhattan, and if they're the average size of an average human being, even if they're 12 feet, 15 feet tall, you can fit about 15,000 people inside that thing.
Wow.
Not 15, 50,000 people. I'm sorry, 50. So it's a pretty big, and that's what taking away spaces for moving and engines and everything else, and it's a pretty big object. So it's interesting,
Wow.
It's interesting.
Wow.
I think it's a life-changing event.
Dude, so do you think they're gonna like eventually, like, the cat's gonna be out of the bag? Like they'll get something like super clear, or you don't think that they'll allow that to circulate?
Only if somebody really just presses the magic button, because NASA eventually will transmit they've transmitted the images already. They'll have to make them public because it's a NASA government agency. So the FOIA will make them public. However, will they obfuscate them? Somebody behind the scenes has to finally just say, you know what, guys, press this button and send this stuff the way it is. Stop running it through this obfuscation software. They have obfuscation software to like rock crop and cover things up to make things look more like rocks instead of what they really are. And they also use something called false color. They label the images false color because they turn the contrast all the way up, and then they put this reddish haze over everything, which kind of hides stuff. But We just need somebody working at one of these places to just say, you know what the hell, man? Just let the people see what the hell's out here, and just press the button and make it available. It's going to take a revolutionary or a rebel working in one of these companies or one of these private corps, Caltech, JPL. Somebody press the button and release this stuff to us so we can see what the hell's going on.
Like the Edward Snowden of the alien initiative.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. Well, you know, like, it's funny because, like, again, looking deeper into like gold and stuff, like they're saying that a lot of the gold has come from asteroids hitting the Earth. It wasn't even here to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see, you know, something really rise up, which, you know, gold is so manipulated in terms of the pricing, right? We've got, who knows what the real price of gold is. And, you know, is actually kind of funny. Like there's a gold documentary that I saw yesterday, actually. And like, if you melted all the gold into like one cube, it would be like a building that is 10 stories tall and like maybe 100 feet by 100 feet cubed. Wow. It's not like a lot of people think it's like this huge amount, like and it's according to what we actually know about it. And this is like the manipulated number too, right?
Yeah.
There's really not that much gold in the world, right? And there's still a lot to be mined and all that stuff. But we have something, and I'll tell you, Billy, like I was speaking at an event back in the end of 2021 in November. And, you know, I was up there's about 100 people, 100 guys, you know, a lot of them were male, between the ages of like 21 and maybe like the oldest one was like 40 some years old, right? And these guys are all investors. And I said, you know, who here holds like gold, commodities? Maybe like 2 or 3 out of this 100 raise their hand. I said, how many of you guys hold stocks? Maybe 20, 30% raise their hand. I said, how many of you guys hold real estate? Another 20, 30% raise their hands. I said, how many of you guys hold crypto? All of them raised their hands. And I was not at a crypto event.
Right.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And you know, the younger generation is holding digital gold. And that's Bitcoin. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I do think that people are starting to lose trust in government. We've covered that before here on this show. I think it's like something like 22% of people trust the government anymore. I mean, come on, dude. Even just talking about 3i Atlas, right? Like, oh, you shut down conveniently as this thing's whizzing by our planet. You know, and Mars, like you could have gotten a really clear shot of it from Mars.
They have it.
And it's been cut off. Like, I don't trust these guys as far as I can drop kick them.
I know.
Right?
I know. It's bad.
And tell me in the chat, does anybody here trust the government? Like, I know there's going to be some jokers here, but I'm sitting here like, this is a joke. And so what's our alternatives, right? Well, we have like physical money that can't be debased like gold. I mean, technically it can. That's how Rome fell, right? Like you can add elements to gold that aren't real gold.
Yeah.
Right. But you cannot create a new Bitcoin.
Right.
You just can't, right? You can create another cryptocurrency. You can create another, you can create another crypto that does the same thing as Bitcoin. But in terms of what Bitcoin has already done and accumulated, you cannot create another Bitcoin. Right.
Yep.
And this is the new gold, in my opinion. And, you know, I think about it and I'm like, you know, Bitcoin realistically is the best investment and store of value from the way that you would just, let's say, for instance, like take it with you somewhere else. Like if you needed to leave and jam the country, like try taking like millions of dollars worth of gold, right? You're going to get stopped on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I got stopped with a gold chain because the detector in the radiation machine picked up the gold chain, and they kept digging and digging. And they wanted to see if I stole some gold or bought a gold block from Egypt one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but long and the short of it, it's not very transferable easily, right? You gotta okay, I gotta shift it over from here to here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Bitcoin, I can remember my keys in my mind, and I can go anywhere in the world, spin up my ledger, put in my keys into my ledger, boom, ready to rock and roll, right? I can carry my crypto inside of my brain, and a lot of people don't realize that, right?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people also don't realize about Bitcoin is essentially you're buying cheap energy from yesterday, because it takes energy to create these Bitcoins, right? Essentially, it's a derivative of a real commodity of energy, right? And so the more and more that that people start to lose faith in the government, somebody here said, I trust the government will print more money.
That's true.
Yeah. I actually
That's a
trust the
fact.
government as much to do that as well. That's
Yeah.
funny. So, I think that Bitcoin, as people continue to lose trust in these governments, I think we're going to see Bitcoin go up and up and up. Now, the thing is, people are greedy. People are impatient, right? And this creates opportunity for the patient, right?
Yeah.
And you can see here, Bitcoin. I mean, I thought back in 2017, Bitcoin was going to go to 100,000, right?
Yeah.
And that was the that was the bull market that I got into, because it just went so crazy. You can see right here where it hit $20,000. And I'm sitting there going, oh man, anytime. But I didn't know a lot about finance. I didn't know a lot about banking. I didn't know a lot about crypto. I just got lucky because I got in at the right time, right? Then the next bull market, I'm like, oh, okay, for sure, Bitcoin is going to 100,000. It only ended up going to about 69,000, right? Now we're at 126,000, or the top so far has been 126,000. Is that the end? Look, I'm not dumb enough. I've been around in crypto for too long to say, no, it's going to keep mooning, over the next coming months. Who knows? It could be done going up. All right. It could be done going up. And that's why I use algorithms, because I make money on the ups and the downsides, right? Of crypto on a more macro level. But I'm sitting here going like, could it go up? Yeah. Could it go down? Yeah. Could it not go down as much this time? Could we go into a short bear market? Anything is possible, man. We got a fucking asteroid, comet, spaceship that's going the fastest thing that's ever entered our galaxy. And it's zinging around, observing all the planets. Anything is possible, right? Anything is possible.
Yeah.
So could it go up? I'm going to show you guys here some things here in a little bit, but I actually want to bring something up, because you have to understand, like, what is it that Bitcoin could potentially go up in the future. All right. And I think that it could hit 1 million. All right. I think that it could hit 1 million, but you gotta be smart, and you gotta do the math. All right. You gotta do the math, because a lot of people make these bold claims, right? Like I see this a lot in the XRP community. I know we're going to have some XRP people. I think a lot of the XRP people who comment in here are bots, to be quite honest with you. But I don't know. I think they spend all their money on bots. But, I hear this a lot, like XRP is going to 10,000, right? I've studied XRP on such a deep level, because it's like, if it's the new thing, man, I want to be in on it, right?
Yeah.
But I also want to be smart about what my investments are. And so I see a lot of things in regards to XRP, and let me give you an example. Let me show you something that I'm constantly seeing here for XRP. Oh man, did I get rid of it? I think I did. So there was a post the other day that I came across on Twitter, and it's like XRP to $10,000 per coin, right? Okay. And the XRP maxis are always that you like, their biggest argument is this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like that's the comment. And I'm always like, these are bots, because like, anyways, in order for XRP to go to $10,000, a lot of people don't realize this. The market cap of XRP, meaning the entire price of XRP ecosystem, would be worth $550 trillion. All right. That's basically like all of the assets in the world. Combined. Right.
True.
So you take all of the assets in the world, that's not going to happen. All right. That's just not going to happen, because they're going to have competition. All right. Like XRP this week alone, I just did a video. Solana, so all the XRP maxis were like, oh, you know, Western Union is going to come with us. Swift is going to want us. All these things, like Swift is going with Chainlink. And it was just stated this week that Western Union is actually using Solana, and they're creating their own stable coin, which is what I've always been saying. I'm like, why would they use XRP, a volatile crypto, to transfer? Anyways, we're not going to get into XRP. Maybe we will one day. All right. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand like how market capitalization works. So let's talk about like Bitcoin, same scenario, right? So when I say $1 million Bitcoin, a lot of people think, well, XRP's price is way less. Well, there's 100 billion XRP. There's 21 million Bitcoin, way less, way less by, you know, in order of, I don't know, 20 or 30x, right? So here's the thing. All right. With Bitcoin, if Bitcoin were to go up, a reasonable price that I actually think it could hit is like $200,000-$300,000 within the next, maybe like, let's say 3-4 years.
Okay.
All right. And that's not too much further from where we're at. But as the crypto starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder to move up in price, because now you got to find more people to buy it, just like gold, just like stocks, right? More people need to find value in it. All right. More people need to find value in it. And so this is what a lot of people don't understand. And so like, let's say for instance, if Bitcoin, okay, were to go up to, let's say, I don't know, let's see here, $1 million. All right. Right now, gold's market cap is at about $29 trillion. At least it was when it was at its all-time high. All right. If Bitcoin were to hit $1 million, you'd be looking at a $20 trillion market cap. Okay. Now, remember one thing. We don't exactly know how much gold is in the world, and we don't even know how much is in the ground still. Okay. It's physical and it's scarce, but there's still a lot of unknown, right? Every day we hear, or at least once a year, twice a year, we hear like, oh, this dilutes the value of gold because you're producing more gold and getting it out there, right? So with Bitcoin, the cool thing is, I think there's something like 25% of all Bitcoin is either locked up between like Satoshi's wallet or lost. All right. Like in these huge whale wallets where they don't touch it at all. All right. Like, can you imagine Satoshi's wallet? I think is the biggest holder of Bitcoin. He's got like, I don't know, like $100 billion worth of Bitcoin, something like that.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Imagine having that much Bitcoin and it's just like locked up. It's never going to be touched, right? And then you've got all the Bitcoin that's been lost. Have you heard of the guy that he lost his hard drive in the UK, and he's like spent millions of dollars trying to find it because he has billions of dollars on this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy. I know.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. All right. So you have to be very, very mindful of like, what is reality here, right? Like now, if Bitcoin goes to 1 million, I mean, that's like an 8x from here, right? An 8 or 9x from here. That's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
All right. That's a pretty good thing. All right. So this is something that I do think is going to happen. If we lose faith in government even faster, who knows? It could be in a year or two, right? Like it just depends on how fast this thing truly starts to unwind. You know? So this is something that I'm definitely watching. I invest in Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin is for me like a really hard money. Does it have a good use case? Not really. It's kind of like really good to store value, but it's not like Ethereum or Sui or one of these cryptos, Solana, that actually has like DeFi banking on it, like where people are actually transacting, right? Like Visa and MasterCard, BlackRock, they're not building on Bitcoin. It's too slow, right? They're building on Ethereum. They're building on layer 2s. They're building on Solana, right? That's what they're building on right now. And so a lot of people, they get wrapped up into like, well, Bitcoin is going to solve everything. It's not. It's definitely not. And you've talked about Ethereum. I think you talked about Ethereum a couple of months ago, right? Like about the use case and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen because I wanted to share this. Now there is a guy. All right. His name is on X. His name is Josh Mann. All right. And I actually did a YouTube video on this guy. All right. On Pi Day, all right, he predicted like sometime in October of 2024, on October of 2024 on Pi Day, that Bitcoin was going to close like at $78,000 or something.
Oh, yeah. I remember this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it closed. I mean, I went back. Maybe we can look at it on the chart here in a few seconds. I went back and I looked at it and it closed. Not at like 78,100 or 70. It was like 78,000 right on the dot.
Wow,
on Pi Day. And if you guys don't believe me, look it up. All right. Josh Mann, and then put Pi Day Bitcoin prediction. All right. Go look at it. I don't have it here in front of me. All right. Now, here's the thing. He's made another prediction. All right, that I think it's by November here, right here. You see this? By November 6th, Bitcoin is going to hit $444,000. $444. And I was like, I mean, look, we're only 7 days away. So.
I know that'd be hard to do.
Yeah.
Unless I'm crazy. Unless this spaceship lands.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we sent you. Did you guys receive the code for Bitcoin?" And then it's like, like, oh man. But
they're gonna come down with a Bitcoin commandment. I command you to buy Bitcoin now.
Right. Yeah. And he said, I don't know. I think the odds of November 6th happening are there. It's gone away. I mean, I really do think it's gone away. I mean, we have like a week. I've never seen anything in crypto move that fast. Usually you have 2 or 3 months of up only, but then you've got so much momentum. Right now, Bitcoin sold off today. It's at like, what is it? 10. I mean, the market sold off so freaking hard. Let's see where Bitcoin's at 107. Looks like it's starting to bounce a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, no, there's no way. There is no way. I mean, again, anything's possible, man. There's a spaceship zinging around. but I, like what I think is more plausible, okay, is this guy here is plan B. He does what's called the stock to flow. All right.
Okay.
He does what's called the stock to flow. And this thing, you know, the bigger it gets, the harder it is to move up, right? This guy's saying that between the stock to flow between 2024 and 2028 halving period is going to be about a 500K average. So could it move up next year? I think that that's what's going to happen. All right. I think that that's what's going to happen. But here's the thing, and a lot of people don't realize how this works, right? In order for people to start spending money, all right, what we call in crypto the plebes to start buying crypto, they need money. They need access to cheap money. And right now they don't have it. All right. They do not have low interest rates. They do not have the ability to buy crypto at a cheap rate or buy these scarce assets. A lot of people are just trying to make ends meet right now. Right. And so what's happening now is that people are, they don't have enough what's called liquidity to start buying this up. But what these institutions are doing, they're buying it up. So all this manipulation that's going on in crypto, like us who are in crypto, this has been one of the worst bull markets ever. I don't even think the bull market has really started, because Bitcoin from its prior all-time high is up like 40 some percent. That's not a bull market, right? Like if you take a look at gold, you know, let's take a look at what, or even the S&P 500. S&P 500 is in a bull market. All right. Look at this. This is what a bull market looks like, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, you have retracements, you know, this was earlier this year, but this is what a bull market looks like. All right. You're hitting all-time high after all-time high after all-time high, right? Gold is the same thing. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, look at this. I mean, this is a bull market, right? This is a multi-year bull market since basically, you know, 2018.
Yeah.
We kind of went flat for a couple years here and then hit a bottom here in November of 2022. But I mean, look at this. What has gold done? Even gold, which is like way slower than Bitcoin, gold is up just in the last few years, last 3 years, up 165%.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and do I think that crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana are going to have their bull run? Absolutely. It's just right now there's a lot of manipulation, but they need the stars to align. Yeah. And what is the final thing? What is the final thing that needs to happen? They need to put the cheap money in the people's hands. And that's why, like, if you're in crypto, if you're beat up, all right, then I would be sitting there telling you, hang in there, all right, because this eventually is going to go back up. You know, if you take a look, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Like the NASDAQ after, which is, you know, all the tech stocks. Let's see if this thing goes back. I've shown this a lot to our students, but look at this. All right. This is the height of the .com bubble. You were around back then, right, Billy?
Oh yeah.
The height of the .com bubble. Oh yeah. All right. So 2000, this was April of 2000. Yeah. And we came crashing down, crashing. And we hit this bottom. We had like a little bit of a double bottom, but really hit this bottom 2 years later, right? Actually over 2 years, almost 2.5 years later, right here in October of 2002. It wasn't until, and a lot of people don't realize this, it wasn't until 2015 that we hit the all-time high from the year 2000. 15 years later. Wow. 15 years later. And so could this happen with crypto? I think markets move a lot faster. And crypto, remember, crypto's 24/7. Yeah. But could that be shortened down to like 2 or 3 years? Yeah, but look at what happened after. Look at this. All-time high, all-time high, all-time high. And now we're sitting way above. You know, we're at 26,000, almost exactly. Yeah. That's kind of cool. 26,000. Look at where we were at here in the year 2000, 4,700. And that's just the index. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, the index is just like all of the stocks inside of the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, excuse me.
NASDAQ, yeah.
Right?
NASDAQ.
So we're seeing this. Now, you could have done way better if you would have gotten in Facebook, if you would have gotten in Google, if you would have gotten in Amazon, right? But if you would have just invested in the index, so the top 100 US tech, you would be way up, way up.
Oh, listen, I had a company called .com Marketing Group, 1997. Well, I was one of the very first .coms. I got in right as the boom was happening. It was a web development company and the beginning stages of e-commerce, and built that up into a multi-million-dollar corporation. Ended up getting into an acquisition around 2002 and a half, somewhere close to 3. And then by 4, full-blown locked in, and then got bought out by Amber Alert, believe it or not. So I made millions of dollars, but I took that money and I took about 8 years off to just, be around my children. I coached sports. I built the YMCA in West Broward. I volunteered at all their schools. I did all this stuff, but I took the money that I did have, the excess, and I invested it all 100% of it into real estate. And the bubble came on the real estate market. In hindsight, what you were just talking about, if I would have just taken and diversified myself and not put all my eggs in one basket, even with the bubble popping, I would have still retained the majority of that wealth. Till this very day, I'd probably be 100+ millionaire right now, with what I wouldn't be able to do. But that was a great and golden opportunity. And sometimes these things just they present themselves to us, and we don't recognize them for what they were. And at that time back then, I was young in my financial literacy. I was doing very well, but I still had a lot to learn. I didn't know about diversification. I didn't know about passive income. And so I missed out on that huge opportunity there to put some money in the index and just let it grow. Yeah.
Dude, I kind of did something similar. So I made about like $875,000 in 2017.
Yeah.
And I ended up putting that money into FANG stocks. So Facebook, Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, Netflix, and I forget what the G was, but maybe somebody here can remind me. I forget what the G was, but essentially it was like an index of these different tech companies that were really, really hot, right, at the time.
Yeah.
And had I have held on to that, I'd be sitting on like almost $8 million today. And it only grew by like 26%. And see, here's the thing, and I it's funny. I actually spoke to somebody today. Guys, gals, you have to be vigilant because the scammers are out in full fledge. Okay. But these guys, they brought me on. They wanted me to teach. They were going to spend a lot of money with us. All right. They were going to spend $15,000 for us to get them all set up with DeFi and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm like, why do you want to set this up? And they're like, well, we're getting into this one investment. You need a minimum of like $50 million to get into it. They're getting this money from some friend. It's a pig butchering scam, essentially. And I told them, I said, guys, you're about to lose all your money. I said, how much are the returns going to be? They're like 1% a day. I said, do the math. Okay. 1% a day is an impossible number. Yeah. It is an impossible number. Okay. And if somebody is doing 1% a day because they're a really good trader, and I think that they could be out there, they are not trying to get everybody in, because what happens is you dilute the strategy and the strategy goes away. Okay.
Those are unicorns.
Yeah. I mean, I would say they're like unicorns.
Yeah.
They're like, the unicorn is like, well, that's a unicorn. That's what it is. Yeah. All right. And so here's the thing. I told them, I literally turned down working with them. 15 grand. I said, hey guys, actually it was going to be closer to 20 because we were going to set up an entity for them. I said, sorry guys, I'm not going to sit around and let you lose your money. If you want to go do it with somebody else, but I don't want to get roped in. to what you guys are doing. And especially, and I told this guy, I said, hey, I've seen every scam that you can deem possible out there. I said, just do the numbers. The numbers don't add up. And, you know, I said, well, it's if you compound this, he ended up with like $839 quadrillion. Okay. So like more than all the amount of money in the world by like 20x, right? Just you.
Right.
And then I go, and then I know. And then I went, and then I said, look, here's the thing. All right. And then he goes, no, it's not compound interest. I said, okay, so you're going to take 50 million and let's say over 5 years at 1% simple interest, you end up with $3 billion. I said, why wouldn't Bill Gates do this? Why wouldn't Elon Musk? Like the guys who really have money, those are the ones who would be doing this. Well, you've never heard of this because I'm like, oh no, I've heard of it. It just didn't end well. All right. It didn't end well. So anyways, you know, this is something that is, a lot of people don't realize that they're the scammers, man, the level of scammers. And with crypto, that's it. Your money's gone, right? Even wire transfers, your money is gone. All right. I've had so many people, they wire transfer money to China or one of these Southeast Asian countries. And that's it. Your money's gone. Life savings gone. Life savings gone in like that. And then they keep you on the hook for, I have one friend, he still doesn't realize that he's in a scam with the Iraqi dinar. Oh, they're going to revalue it. They're going to revalue it. I go, dude, they're not going to revalue the Iraqi dinar, right? No.
I sold my Iraqi dinar years ago.
Yeah. And I said, well, how much are you going to end up with the amount of Iraqi dinars that you've bought? You know, he's bought $800,000 worth of Iraqi dinars. Yeah. And I go, how many Iraqi dinars are there? How many do you have? And he sends me, Billy.
Oh God.
He sends me a document that's like, was done in Word 95. Okay?
Oh no.
Word 95. Not even the latest version of Word. Not even like a certificate stamped with gold. All right. And he goes, dude, he sent it to me. I said, I would ask them if you can get half of your money back. Yeah. And tell them that you're going to invest into like something else that's going to double your money and you're going to invest all of that money back in. Yeah. And he didn't reach out to me because like he was so hurt that I told him this.
Oh man.
He was so hurt. And I was like, bro, you got scammed. And it, you know, like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. It's really sad. It's really sad, guys and gals.
It's bad, man. It's bad. A lot of people, you know, this one lady I told you, she replied to a comment on one of my posts and somebody replied to her comment under my post, under her and told her that, you know, we're with the Coach Billy team. And so this guy gives her a WhatsApp number, but he gives her these weird numbers because, you know, YouTube can tell if you're, I guess YouTube knows you're a scammer if you use regular numbers or something. So they use these weird looking characters. And so she obviously goes and types this in, calls this guy on WhatsApp, or they're messaging back and forth on WhatsApp. And he somehow tells her, you know, okay, we're going to need $250,000. And so she goes, she goes, to prove to me that it's really you, send me a picture of yourself with your tongue sticking out. That was her vetting process.
Oh my God.
So this guy found some picture on Google of somebody, and then he photoshopped a tongue sticking out of the mouth. So clear as day. I mean, it's so clear as day. It wasn't even lined up properly with the face. And he sends it to this lady. And I don't even know what the heck he was telling her he needed that money for, but she sent him $250,000. I said, ma'am, there's nothing you can do. I said, you got to call the FBI and hope they can help you, but I'm pretty sure it's gone overseas somewhere. It's gone. I said, can I ask you a question? I said, in order to have $250,000 to be able to even send to anybody, you have to have some level of financial literacy. So can I ask you, how did you get that amount of money without understanding these basic things? And she said, I was just a housewife. This was my divorce settlement. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, look, you know, there's a book called The Psychology of Money.
Mm.
I read it 3 times. I've studied it 3 times. I
Yeah.
read it really, really intentfully.
Yeah.
Guys, gals, listen to this. Go buy that book. One, go buy that book. Okay. And realize this. And I told my friend that got scammed. I said, listen, man, next time, don't even come with me because I don't even want that energy around me. I
Mm-hmm.
said, just take your money and put it in the S&P 500. He makes good money. You know, he makes over $1 million a year. I said,
Yeah.
put it in the S&P 500. Dude, you don't even need that much money.
Yeah.
You know, like he's in his 60s. He
Oh,
owns
you don't
his
need a lot of
place
money.
outright.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going like, why are you trying to hit a grand slam at 60 years old?
Just relax, brother. take a
Seriously.
load off. Kick your feet up, man, and lay back and relax. Enjoy life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like relax, man. Like, you know, but listen, there is some stuff for those of you that are interested in learning what we do. Okay. We've got some of our stock strategies. All right, we have stock strategies, we have crypto strategies, but we've talked about the tokenized stocks, all right, on the blockchain. But we've got some stock signals right now that are crushing. Right now, this right here, this is a big one. All right, and I want to be very, very abundantly clear. All right, like this is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy has gone up a lot, and we caught a lot of the momentum. Our strategies use momentum. All right. Will it do this again over the next 2 years? Probably not. Probably not. Unless Bitcoin goes up to like $440,000, then yeah, it will do that. All right. But I personally think it's not going to go that fast. Okay. Over maybe like, let's say a 5-6 year period. Could it do this? 100%. All right. We also trade NVIDIA. Okay. This is and we've got the best stock signals for this. These are crushing. We're making lots and lots of money using these. And they're very simple strategies. And this is just one of the things that we teach, by the way. All right. This NVIDIA strategy is doing 149% since 2024. And then this is GBTC, so Grayscale BTC. These are all stocks, all right, doing 112% since 2024. So these are like pretty recent numbers, right? Now these ones, all right.
Oh, by the way, we got to tell them, but we're not financial advisors. By the way, this is
financial advisors.
Yeah, this is for entertainment purposes.
Yep, not financial advisors.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have crypto strategies as well. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Our Bitcoin strategy since 2024 has done 84%. All right. It's not knocking your socks off. We're not talking about 1% per day. These strategies do end up in what's called drawdown. You have to have some level of drawdown because you're not going to hit 100% of the trades. Okay. But then you get that next leg up and you start to do really, really well. But what we do is we protect that downside. That's what we want to do. We want to capture the upside, but protect the downside. So if like Bitcoin does go up to $444,000, this most likely, not guaranteed, all right, most likely will go much higher than 84% because Bitcoin really hasn't been grinding up like we've seen in prior years. And this is why I didn't want to show prior years, because the market structure has shifted a lot. This is a different bull market than we're used to. You can see here, Solana, it's not that crazy. But guys, gals, you want money to compound. All right? Slowly, chill. Because again, when you have that guy telling you that you're going to make 1% per day, that's how you're going to lose your money. Now, this Solana strategy, if I go back to like 2022, it's 1,500%. But I don't want to show that because that was an anomaly, right? Solana crashed because of the 2022 FTX stuff. They were highly linked to FTX. FTX was like a big investor in them. So it crashed 90-some%, and then it came roaring back, right? So this is just since it's been chopping around, all right? And then Ethereum has been our darling right now since 2024. It's done 202% since 2024. So almost in the last 2 years, you're up 2x, all right? Now, that's if we get into a raging bull market, I do think it will go higher. But if we don't, we have something that's protecting our downside. And that to me, risk management is everything. So if you guys are interested in learning, we're going to drop that link in the chat. You can book a call and let's see how we can link up and get you guys and gals on board. We've talked about these strategies here. We had an event about these strategies a little over 45 days ago, and we're going to have another event coming up here real soon, a free event that we're going to be talking about next week here on Conscious Finance. So show up and get ready to sign up for that event. It's completely free. It's going to be on November 15th. So get ready. We're going to be sending all that information out very, very soon. So in the meantime, if you want to get ahead of this, right here, you can book a call. We just dropped the link there. So anyways, Billy, I know you got a podcast to run to.
Yeah. Another one. You know how I am. I'm back to back. I put out the most content than anybody on the planet in this area of interest in, you know, consciousness, finance, and alternative finance, I should say, and ancient civilization, sciences, and all that. Yeah. So I got another one.
It's all linked, dude. It's all linked.
Oh man. Oh yeah. A lot of great stuff going on. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out in California. I'll make sure you have a table out there so that people can stop by and get some ARC knowledge and register for classes and so forth. But yeah, man, I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
All right, my man. All right, everybody. All right. Thank you guys all for showing up. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you do hit 444 here on November 6th. Let's see.
What's up? Yeah. What's up, Freck Talk? Appreciate you. All right. Catch y'all later. Peace.
All right, guys.
All right.